All right, Walter, let's talk a little bit about beans because getting close to that time to start putting them out.
Oh, yes, yes.
So we have a few questions for you about those beans.
Okay.
All right. What are the two main types of green beans?
Well, you know, the main types of beans, green beans that we talk about is, of course, snap beans, and I have a few of them here. And they're just called snap beans because of, you know, you just snap them, and they're just easy to, you know, to cook and to eat. And also, these beans are also known as bush beans because they tend to grow in kind of a bush-type way, so to speak. And you also have pole beans, which like to run. They like to put out the runners. And one way that I grow them at my house, I use it on back of my deck. I have this lattice, and I saved a piece of it, and I plant my pole beans, and they run, and they're a beautiful vine. I mean, they really are. They're a very pretty vine, and my wife doesn't get upset about it. So, you know, that works out perfect. And then, of course, there's lima beans, which is a little flat green bean that takes all day to pick a bushel of. And they're a bush type, and you also have a pole type lima bean as well.
Okay. So is it correct that beans are good for conditioning the soil? Because we hear that all the time.
Oh, yes. And of course, I know Dr. Mike here will tell you as well, because they're legumes.
Yeah.
And they fix the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil, and therefore you have, when you pull up one of those roots that have those little nodules on it which contain nitrogen. And also a little tip here. This year when you plant your garden where you plan on putting your sweet corn or your tomatoes, put that where you had the beans and peas last year. And you'll be able to kind of cut your fertilizer costs a little bit, I believe.
All right, sounds good. A little rotation there.
Yeah, a little rotation.
All right, a little rotation. All right, so hey, here's the $1 million question though. When should people plant green beans?
Well, I always like to plant anytime from April through June. Okay. And you should be fine on planting green beans. Okay. As a matter of fact, I always say anytime after tax day.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so April 15th on.
Okay, and it'll be a good time to do that. Then what are the planting recommendations?
Well, you'll want to plant them, you want the rows to probably be about 38 inches apart. You'll want to plant them, the plants individually, anywhere from about 4 to 6 inches apart. And you should be pretty good there. Okay.
Wide rows for the most part?
Yes, wide rows. Because you might need you take a mule to plow down through there, so you need about 38 inches.
Okay. Get that mule down there.
Yeah, get the mule down through there. Yes.
All right. So once you get them in the ground, then when should you expect to harvest them?
I would say for green beans, about 60 days. Really. Okay. They have about a 60-day growing period. Lima beans is a little bit longer. I think it may take them about maybe 70 days until you can get a crop.
Okay. And most of the information would be on the seed packets.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. How many pounds of beans can a gardener produce? How about that one?
Well, you'll be shocked. You can easily, in a 100-foot row, and that is a gardener who's gone through the master gardener class and know what to do. They can easily get about, I would say easily 75 pounds of green beans off that row. That's a lot. 100-foot row.
Better have a freezer. Like that.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yes, it better have a freezer.
Yeah, that's under perfect growing conditions, okay? So, yes, easily. Now, I would probably say as far as lima beans, because people look at those more from the shelled, you can get about 20 pounds of shelled lima beans from a 100-foot row.
Okay.
Expect that.
How about that? It's going to be a lot. So when are the green beans ripe? You know, of course, we get that question too at the office. Well, how do you know when they're ripe and when they're ready to get
really, when you go out and of course, you kind of see a desired length. Of course, look at these green beans here. You know, that's a bush bean, about that length there. But when they're kind of easily, it kind of easily pulled from the, you know, from the vine. Okay. That's when they're ready. Now for lima beans, you'll want to fill them because you want to fill the little beans in that pod. And so it's kind of a little touch you have to develop to pick those. Takes all day to pick a bushel of lima beans, trust me.
Oh, you know that from experience?
Yes, yes.
All right, what about a gardener that does not like to chop? How can they grow beans?
Well, I would probably say, obviously, they would want to go out and use some type of pre-emergent herbicide, you know, once they get up a little bit. And hey, by the way, if you're an organic grower, you can use a corn gluten meal
Right.
for that. And then the way that I do it, I usually plant and I usually mulch with straw real heavily. And that usually takes care of my problems in growing my green beans. I usually don't have much problem at all.
Okay.
Because I get the plant up pretty quick and the straw mulches over, and I have pretty good luck with that.
Okay. Now look, we always like for folks to get their soil tested, okay, before they plant. So what's a good pH though for growing beans?
Green beans kind of like it a little acidic. So about 5.8, 6.2, somewhere along that line, you'll be fine.
Okay. Now here's another one. Of course, we have pests and diseases. So what about those diseases? How are we going to control those out in the garden?
Well, for most of your diseases, particularly your funguses, you can use a product that contains chlorothalonil. You'll be fine in most cases. And you can also use for like bacterial diseases, you can use copper products that will handle most of your problems there with diseases.
Okay, yeah, those copper-based products, good products. Okay, but you know what else? Resistant varieties.
Well, yes,
that's what I always tell folks.
That's always an option there.
Look for those resistant varieties. All right, what about those insect pests that are out there?
Well, for aphids and spider mites, you can use malathion. You can, for aphids and beetles and whiteflies, you can use products that contain bifenthrin in it. And of course, old copperbill, which is still around, you can use that for beetles and corn earworms and stink bugs. And if you have thrips, use spinosad products. And that's, I would say that kind of sums them up as far as insecticides for them.
Want to make sure folks read the label on that too.
Always
especially right before you harvest.
Yes, yes, yes. Observe those pre-harvest intervals and all that.
Okay. All right. Now, here's another good question. Yeah. Varieties for this area. I mean, you're giving the folks all this good information, but what varieties are best for our area?
Well, I'll tell you for bush beans, I like the Blue Lakes. I like Kentucky Wonders. They're very good. You also have some golden varieties that's kind of like those wax green beans that you see. So they have like tender crop. There's a variety for that. For pole beans, you have the Kentucky Wonder.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You also have a Blue Lake pole bean. There's also a tender green. So that's all different types of varieties. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, yes.
And some of those I've heard before, and I think Mr. Diaz too. I see him nodding his head over there.
Kentucky Wonder's been around a
long time, yes. And that's what I plant, is the
Kentucky Wonder. Yeah, pretty good success with those.
Yes, I have good
on your
success.
lattice?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And like I say, beautiful plant, so the wife stays
they
happy.
are.
So.
Beautiful blooms on them too
Yes,
as well.
that's right.
All right, Walter, we appreciate that good information about beans, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you much. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. To find out more information on this topic, just click on the familyplotgarden.com link in the description.